This is sort of a distressing news because the public charge rule is an easy way without much explanation to deny cases. And there's not much you can do about it. So that's why it's so important to be aware of it, to prepare for it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. It was really intended to stop Chinese people from coming in the West and later on some Southern European people in the 1800s and or late 1800s and early 1900s. There's no bright line rule. That means like there's no saying, okay, you have this, you're good or you're not. It's going to come down to the officer that's helping you the case in the region you're in, because anything that's going to cause the officer to have doubts or delay or frustration could lead to denial of your case. Big news coming out of the administration today: the public charge rule is coming back, in particular right now for the embassy system. Let's break down the history of what the public charge rule is, how you can protect yourself, your case, your loved ones coming to the United States over this very subjective and easy to be denied reason for your green card case. I'm immigration lawyer John Kasravi. We help families and employees and investors come to the United States to live, work, and grow their lives here. And this is sort of a distressing news because the public charge rule is an easy way without much explanation to deny cases. And there's not much you can do about it. So that's why it's so important to be aware of it, to prepare for it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's go into history a little bit. When the immigration laws first started really coming to place in the late 1800s, they instituted this public charge rule to worry about whether this person who's coming is going to be charged a cost to the public of the United States. It was really intended to stop Chinese people from coming in the West and later on some Southern European people in the 1800s and or late 1800s and early 1900s. So it's always been a part of the immigration process and even updated with the Immigration Nationality Act, the INA, that we currently have exists today, is part of it. And it's listed that things that are in there, that the changes that are happening have always been part of the law. But what we've seen is it depends on the administration that's handling the cases, how strict they're going to be on that. And historically, they have not been too strict on it because they have other systems to help. For example, if you're doing a family-based case, a U.S. citizen or green card holder has to show that they have enough money and they work to support the foreign person and guarantee to the government if that person goes on food stamps or doesn't pay for their bills, the government or the hospital could go after and get the money. So that took care of things on its own right there. But this administration, their goal is to not let people come here, is making it stricter. They did it last time around when the first Trump administration was around. They did it for USCIS immigration cases in the United States. Their lawsuits got pushed back. It was never instituted. They designed the paperwork for the embassy system to do it, but that never came about. But today, the announcement came that a cable was sent out to the various embassies that they're restarting it. So that's going to be a thing. Now, we don't have any new form for it yet. There is a form online that existed the previous time around. They're probably going to reuse that for people to complete to go into their background. But let's go into what they're going to be looking for and what to prepare for. So public charge is worried about the person who's going to come here now be able to support themselves. This really hits minor children who don't work and older people who may be sick or not or retired and may or may not have savings or investments to be able to support themselves. That's going to get hit the hardest. Really, your parents are coming if you're older and you're immigrating to the United States. They look at age, your health, your financial ability, your education, your ability to speak English, and adjust to working in America. All of these are factors the officer will consider. There's no bright line rule. That means like there's no saying, okay, you have this, you're good or you're not. It's going to come down to the officer that's helping you the case in the region you're in. I'm sure we're going to see wide discrepancies depending on what country you're from and what continent you're from, how strict they're going to be on this. And the officer gives them discretion if they don't like you for some other reason. This is an easy way for them to do it. Now, a lot of the officers, most of them are very honorable people, are not going to do that. They're going to look at the situation as is. But new people are going to be hired in this administration that are not going to be too into helping immigrants come probably. I doubt that foreign service, the embassies that have that, because there's so much work they have to do. That's not their priority, as it would be for ICE or something like that. But nonetheless, there are officers that don't like immigration, obviously, or they'll just take this to heart. I remember interviewing a former consular officer who did it for 15 years. And he said that when they taught me when I first started doing interviews at the embassy for giving green cards, I was so strict because I was like, everyone's committing fraud. This is loud, this is that. Because like after 15 years of doing it, getting to know people, seeing the consequences of my work, I realized my whole thought process at the beginning when I started was completely wrong. I would deny people for the wrong reasons completely, not really focusing on the core of what it is and what I need to be worried about. So these are the things that are happening. But okay, that's the past. This is what's going to happen. How do you prepare for it? Well, we have to see how they're going to enforce it, if they publish any regulations or forms for it. But based on history, they're going to look at several things. First and foremost is how much money you have. That's really going to be it. Do you have a lot of money here? Does your family member in the U.S. have a lot of money? Do you have investments? Secondly, do you have the ability to come in and live and work in the United States? Do you speak English fluently? Do you have a degree, skills, background that allows you to come here, make money, and live a life. Those are the things you're going to look at. And number three, health factors. They may start getting into your health. Do you have any disease that's going to require long-term institutional care? Do you need a bedside nurse that the government has to pay you, or do you have to go to a hospitalization for continuous period of times? These are the things they're going to look at to analyze, and they're going to do it in 3 minutes. So you got to have the paperwork really well prepared, upload it to the NBC, be prepared to talk about your situation, have all the documents for translation. And this is what immigration will help you with. Have preparation to have the strongest presentation possible to explain what's going on, to have the documents, what's going on, to put the best face forward. Because anything that's going to cause the officer to have doubts or delay or frustration could lead to denial of your case. I hate the fact that I even have to talk about this because it makes people's lives really hard. Most people, almost every person going through this process is not going to be a public charge, as we know statistically. But this is what we have to deal with, and that's what our services are here to help you with. If you want to learn more about the marriage immigration process, which is the bulk of these kind of cases they're going to have to worry about, but also parents of immigrants, parents going through the process, download a guide. We have a guide called the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. Although it's focused on marriage cases, parents' cases are very similar, other than the fact that instead of showing the relationship is real, you just show the parentage is real. But download that at marriageimmigrationlaw.com and schedule a consultation with us, jqklaw.com/contact. Again, that's jqklaw.com/contact. I'm immigration lawyer John Kostrowski, founder of the JK Law Firm. I hope to speak with you soon. Bye-bye.